Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Lakat Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of the video is As Birds Flying, So Will the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai of Hosts Defend Jerusalem. Now, basically, I was reading an article and it was talking about UFOs, but it just turned out to be a drone, right, from war. But when I was reading it or when I read the title, I immediately thought of the dude Ron Dalton, right, which is a false prophet, and there's many others like him, right? And I thought about him because he was basically saying that the spaceships or the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is not real, right? Basically, that it's madness that the Lord Yahweh will do that, deliver his elect with chariots. And then I was like, so, in my mind, I was like, so UFOs and aliens and Area 51 and all the asteroids flying to the Earth that's going to end it, all this is real, but the chariots of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is not real. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai can pick us up in the chariot. And so I was thinking to myself. So, and then I immediately thought of this verse 5 right here, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5. But I'm gonna get it from first. It says difficult times will come, right? We're in those difficult times. We're entering into those difficult times, right? Where the Esau Edom is coming out with great wrath. We can already see Jacob's struggle starting. The northern tribe got it first, pretty much. It's still getting it, and now we're entering in a time where Judah, right, the southern tribe, is now going to start to feel the effects of it and continue in it, right, until basically we're delivered. And also until Esau brings forth his, fake solution, which is the Ark of Egypt. All right. So we're in those evil days now. This is 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient, parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good." The scriptures say that they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, right? They hate the true meaning of the Lord, right? The true prophets, the one that, stick to the word, basically, and rebukes and reprove individuals. They don't like those men, right? It says traitor, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So these are the individuals that we see, trying to be false or trying to be prophets, make themselves false prophets by teaching lies. It says having a form of godliness. Why? Because we are the Israelites, right? We do pertain to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He has put his name on us, but in this last time, in these last days, he has put it on the elect, right? He's going to redeem and save his elect. But we have Israelites that are, trying to turn back to the Lord, but in the wrong way. It says having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Right? NLT says what? It says they will act religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly. Stay away from people like that. Yeah, people scoff at the chariots, probably scoff at the spiritual power, right? That the Lord will give us. Right? The scriptures talk about when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, shall lift up a standard, right? To protect us. Right? That's that spiritual power. Also, Yahweh Shai said the things that he did, we can do greater. He healed individuals, rose individuals from the dead, walked on water, right? Things that we will do and do greater. It says 2 Timothy 3:6, "For this sort are they which creep into houses and leave captive city women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, never learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth." It says, "Now as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth." That's exactly what's happening. Why? Because the men of the Lord, the true prophets, right, the hopeful elect, preach and teach the true 100% truth, and they reject it. It says, "Men of corrupt minds, reprobate concerning the faith." It says, "But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was." Right. So these same, false individuals are being exposed now. You have, of course, Pegasus, Pegatron, and the rest pretty much is going off the doctrine. Captain Tazariak, Deacon, Brother Hassad, Bishop Nathaniel, all these individuals that's going off on the word, and trickling down to even the new camps that just starting up and following after the world, right? Following after men that are following the world, right? Trying to gain money. I believe it goes into that a little bit. It says, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystria, and persecutions. I'm sorry, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai delivered me. Yeah, and all that will live godly in Yahushai shall suffer persecutions. It says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and men deceiving. And we clearly see that, right? On the outside looking in, right? Compared to them, because really, they're on the outside looking in because we have the truth, right? But on the outside looking in towards the wickedness, we can see that these false prophets are lying to them, right? Deceiving the people, and themselves are being deceived. It says, but 2 Timothy 3:14, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them from, right? From my other apostles, right? From elder apostle Har on down, the men of GMS, and the men that taught them, right? Our other apostles, Alba Bivens, right? King Masha, Arya, right? I continue. It says, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahushua. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. Right? Yeah, the scriptures say the Lord Yahweh has given a straight commandment, on what you can do to receive eternal life, roughly paraphrasing. Right? It's all written in the scriptures. It says that the man of Yahweh may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. Right? So the point 5, it says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Right. So, like I said, these people deny the chariots of salvation. They deny, the spiritual power. Right. And all this stuff is written in scriptures. This is Ezekiel 1:1, NLT. It says, on July 31st of my 13th year, while I was with the Judean exiles beside the Kibar River in Babylon, the heavens were open and I saw visions of Yahweh. This happened during the 5th year of King Jehoiachin captivity. It says, the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, gave this message to Ezekiel, son of Buzi, a priest beside the Kibar River in the land of the Babylonians. And he felt the hand of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, take hold of him. It says, as I looked, I saw a great storm coming from the north, driving before it a huge cloud that flashed with lightning and shone with brilliant light. There was fire inside the cloud, and in the middle of the fire growled something like gleaming amber. This is describing a chariot, right? And inside of chariots is what? The angels of the Lord. It says, from the center of the cloud came 4 living beings that looked human, except that each had 4 faces and 4 wings. So it goes in to describe it, but it just described the chariot here. And the Lord Yahweh is coming with these chariots, in the angels. This is 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 1. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. So this is Yahushua coming with the chariots, right? And himself in a great chariot, right? It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth, right, when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So this is going to when World War III will be taking place. That's when Yahushua returns, because in World War III, the nuclear missiles will be sent right to Babylon, which is America, and also land of Israel. So those of us in America, right, will need to be saved out of it, right, which is also prophesied. It says, let me put this over here. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Yeah, this great mountain is talking about the chariots, just described in Ezekiel. This is just one example, but the Lord Yahweh Shai, right, he's going to have his own chariot. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, but I could not. So Lord Yahweh Shai is going to come with a great chariot. And also with the angels. It says that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right? Matthew 24 and 30. Matthew 24 and 29, it says, immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heavens shall be shaken. Right? Once again, he's going to what? Yahweh shall return in with what? Himself, in the chariot, and also the angels. In chariots, it says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. These clouds are the chariots. It says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. All right. We will grab this Isaiah 31 and 5. It says, as birds flying, so will the Lord Yahweh, Bashmiel shall host defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it, right? What we just read in Matthew 24. The Lord Yahweh Shai coming back with the chariots, with the angels, right? So let me grab, I believe, Titus. Grab Titus. Because why? I want to point verse 10, but I'm going to start at point 9. Or, verse 9. This is Titus 1 and 9. It says, holding fast the faithful word as he have been taught, that he may be able to, by sound doctrine, both extort and convince the gainsayers. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. See, that's what I wanted. So, just on this guy, Ron Dalton, he's teaching for money, right? Because why? He makes his videos, his movies, right? Which even the elder Pastor Hart said, these things are going on, and he's telling them, so, hey, if you don't got the money, you can't get his truth. It says, one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. Yeah, see, so they be telling each other, kind of like this thing with Pegatron, really Hebrew, he split, and before that you had a bishop, Brother Assad and Deacon, right? They left them because the reason's unknown, and we found out what the reason was. At least I'm thinking that was the reason, because they knew that this stuff was going to come out, and then when it came out, they was pointing fingers at who's next and who did what, and all of that. It says, this witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know Yahweh, Bashim Shai, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient unto every good work of every day. Right? This is Psalm 68. Right. 17, slightly. Psalm 68 and 17, it says, the chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord Yahweh, Bashim Shai, is among them, as in Sinai and all of this. Once again, this going into the chariots, right? The spaceships of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Shai, and we will be picked up by these things. So they do exist, it is a real thing, and that is our salvation, because America, Babylon the Great will be destroyed. All right. Surrounded by unnumbered thousands of chariots, the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Shai, came from Mount Sinai into a sanctuary, right? And he's coming to us. He's coming to deliver us and pick us up, right? So, Lord willing, we're at the 5 lesson, Shalom, to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children, Shalom.